Why did nobody show up? You know, Breitbart was the one who figured out that this event was a total flop, and then the reporters at Breitbart reached out to some of the people who were putting it together. No response. And then immediately after this was reported on, the website took down the event. They wanted to forget about it. Why did nobody show up to this event? Is it because all of a sudden everybody loves Trump? I don't think so. Is it because nobody in the country wants to impeach Trump? No, I don't think so. I think it's because even leftists are tired of being taken for suckers. And they're tired of being taken for suckers by their own alleged leaders. You know, the left has cried wolf for 3 years, more than 3 years. This is the result of that. The left put all their eggs in one basket, and that basket was the Russia collusion narrative. We're going to impeach Trump because he's a traitor, because he colluded with Russia, and it just didn't happen. So then it was Stormy Daniels. Trump slept with a porn star, and we're going to take Trump down for that. Then it was his finances. Then it was back to Russia again. And then it was racism. Then he called neo-Nazis very fine people, except then you look at the tape and he didn't call neo-Nazis very fine people. He explicitly condemned them. And then, there was never any argument for impeachment. And the left knows this, and the rank and file knows this, and they're sick of it. Why? Look, it's not that the left doesn't want to impeach Trump. It's just, you know, you got to put on your pants in the morning, you got to walk out the door, you got to take the bus, you got to go over to the Capitol, you got to hold up the signs, impeach Trump, and they don't believe it anymore because it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. The anti-Trump rhetoric from the mainstream media and Democratic candidates is still at a fever pitch, but it doesn't correspond to reality. Compare the resistance, the Trump resistance, to the Tea Party. Think about these two things. Tea Party, 2010, even a little bit before that. Totally legitimate movement, rose up in opposition to a massively unpopular law called Obamacare that tried to take over a sixth of the economy, that took away Americans' doctors, that made prices go up, made the quality of care decrease, that unconstitutionally forced Americans to buy a private product from the federal level. Also, the Tea Party was running against a terrible economy. Barack Obama comes in a recession, sure, but then because of his awful economic policies, there was no recovery, slowest recovery in history. They also, in the Tea Party, were running against a very unpopular corporate bailout. So the big banks, I mean, there were several bailouts, but there was the bailout of the banks, and then there was the unpopular stimulus plan. The banks, in part, get us into this mess, and then what do? The federal government uses our tax dollars to bail them out. There was this slush fund stimulus package that didn't bring with it any jobs. They also were running against expanded wars in the Middle East. Barack Obama expanded wars in the Middle East almost immediately after he got elected. And what did the Tea Party do? They had these legitimate grievances. They were very specific. They were very particular. They organized. They rallied their candidates. They won 1,000 seats around the country. That's impressive. And the thing I always noticed about Tea Party rallies, I went to a number of them, that, you know, all the campaigns, I was working on campaigns at the time, they would all stop by these Tea Party rallies. The Tea Party, they'd show up and they'd leave their rallies and the place looked cleaner than it did before they got there. You know, they were very well behaved. Say whatever you will about the ideology of the Tea Party, which I think was really positive for the country, but they were well behaved. They were serious people. Compare that to the resistance. The resistance is a bunch of aggrieved ex-hippies and blue-haired feminists who don't like Trump's mean tweets. That's it. What are they running against? Are they running against some unpopular law? What's the unpopular law? Tax cuts? Yeah, we need to sweep the country because Trump let us keep more of our money. I don't think so. Is it the economy? No, the economy's doing great. Is it wars in the Middle East? If anything, President Trump has curtailed wars in the Middle East. They're not running against anything real. Hey, Michael Knowles here, and the fact is, these cigars aren't cheap. Be sure to subscribe to the Daily Wire on YouTube, because I depend heavily on your support to continue enjoying this wonderful lib-triggering life.